In the Arctic, cold kills you in minutes, darkness kills you in weeks, and it's far more brutal. Because you can fight cold, build a fire, wear more fur, keep moving. But darkness doesn't freeze your fingers, it rots your mind from the inside. 1898, the Belgica expedition. A ship full of educated men, scientists, sailors, officers, trapped in Antarctic ice. Within weeks, they were seeing things. Faces in the shadows. Voices calling their names. One man stopped recognizing his own reflection. Another tried to walk off the ship into nothing. Convinced the sun was just over the horizon, the ship's doctor wrote in his journal, "We are not dying. We are unbecoming." Meanwhile, 500 miles north, Inuit families were sitting in igloos, telling stories, laughing. They'd been doing this for 4,000 years. Same darkness, same isolation, but their minds stayed sharp. Their tribes stayed whole. What did they know? They knew that the darkness doesn't care if you're strong. It only cares if you're prepared. And they'd spent millennia building weapons against it. Not spears, not walls, weapons for the mind. This is how they fought back. Picture this. You're in a room the size of a closet. No windows, no clock, no variation in light, sound, or temperature. Now stay there for 6 months. Your brain starts playing tricks within days. First, you hear wind that isn't there. Then the walls start breathing, expanding and contracting like lungs. You see shadows move in your peripheral vision. Your own thoughts start sounding like someone else's voice. This isn't madness. This is your brain starving. It's a pattern recognition machine that requires constant input. And when you remove the input, it starts manufacturing its own. Hallucinations aren't a bug. They're a desperate feature. The Inuit understood this without neuroscience textbooks. Their diagnosis was simple. An idle mind is a dying mind. So they built games. But these weren't games the way we think of games. Ayahaar. String figures. 2 people. 1 loop of chord. And 200 different patterns you had to memorize perfectly. Because there was no paper, no diagrams, no YouTube tutorials. Just your memory and your hands. Here's what it looks like. Fingers threading through loops at impossible angles. String pulled taut between teeth. One wrong move and the whole structure collapses. You have to rebuild it from scratch. And the patterns had names: the caribou, the fox trap, the kayak. Each one told a story. Each one mapped onto something you needed to survive. But here's the real trick. You couldn't look away. Your eyes had to track every twist. Your fingers had to remember every sequence. Your mind had to stay locked in. And for those minutes, sometimes hours, the darkness didn't exist. There was only the string, only the pattern, only the problem in front of you. Then there was Ajagaq, a piece of carved bone on a leather cord, a spike attached to a wooden handle. The goal: swing the bone up, catch it on the spike. Sounds easy. It's not. Most people miss 100 times before they land one. The bone spins unpredictably. The spike is thin. Your hands are cold, and every miss is loud, the bone clattering against ice, against wood, against silence. But that sound became addictive, because every near miss made your heart race. Every close call made you think, one more try, and suddenly an hour had passed, then 2, then 6, and you didn't notice. Because when you're chasing that catch, time stops mattering. The Inuit didn't try to make the night shorter. They made their experience of the night shorter. They hacked perception itself. And the side effect? When you finally landed that catch, when bone met spike in perfect silence, you felt like you'd killed a bear. But games only work when you're alone. And in an igloo, you're never alone. 8 people, 12-foot igloo, 6 months, and winter is when old grudges turn into murder. Because humans aren't meant to live like this. We're territorial animals. We need space. And when you can't have space, your brain starts looking for threats. That guy who chews too loud. That woman who took the best sleeping spot. That kid who won't stop humming. In most of human history, the solution was violence. One fight, one body in the snow, problem solved. But in the Arctic, that's suicide. Because if you lose one hunter, the tribe might not have enough hands to bring down a seal. And if you don't bring down seals, everyone starves. So the Inuit banned physical violence. Not because it was immoral, because it was inefficient. And they replaced it with something more dangerous: public humiliation. Song duels. Here's how it worked. 2 people have a grudge. They don't fight. They write songs about each other, diss tracks, and then they perform them in front of the entire tribe. Imagine standing in front of everyone you know, your family, your neighbors, your rivals, and singing about how your enemy is a terrible hunter, how his wife probably wishes she married someone else, how his kids look like they belong to the guy next door, and everyone's watching, everyone's listening. And then laughter, roaring, uncontrollable laughter, because the song is funny, because humiliation, when it's clever, is entertainment. The loser isn't the person who's morally wrong. The loser is the person who couldn't make people laugh. And that shame, that public, undeniable shame, hurts worse than any punch. But here's the genius. After the song ends, the grudge is over. You can't stab someone after you've already destroyed them in front of the tribe. The rage is gone, replaced by exhaustion, by laughter, by the shared memory of a really good insult. They turned murder into theater, violence into comedy, and the tribe survived because nobody died over someone chewing too loud. But there's one enemy that jokes can't kill. Games keep your hands busy. Jokes keep your tribe from tearing apart. But there's a deeper fear that neither can touch. The fear that whispers in the darkest part of the night. What if the sun doesn't come back? Because you've never seen 6 months of darkness before your first winter. You only have the stories. And stories aren't proof. So your mind starts asking questions it shouldn't. What if this time is different? What if the elders are wrong? What if I die here? And once that fear takes root, it spreads, like frost on glass, until you can't think about anything else. The Inuit needed a way to shut that voice off, and they found it in the strangest place, the shaman's drum. Picture this. Everyone gathers in the igloo. The shaman sits in the center. The drum is made from stretched seal, skin thin, hollow, resonant, and the shaman starts hitting it, slowly, steadily, over and over, the same beat, the same rhythm, like a heartbeat, like breathing, like something alive but not quite awake. And then the throat singing starts. That deep, guttural hum that sounds like it's coming from inside the earth. It vibrates in your chest. It rattles your teeth. It's not music. It's a frequency. And your body starts responding to it without asking permission. Your eyelids get heavy. Your breathing slows. The edges of your vision blur. And the voice in your head, the one asking if you'll survive, gets quieter and quieter until it's gone. You're still awake, but you're not thinking anymore. You're not worrying. You're just existing, like a stone, like ice, like a bear curled up in a den, waiting for spring. The Inuit discovered something modern science is only now proving. You can turn the brain off without going to sleep. You can force a shutdown, a controlled hibernation, maintenance mode. And when you come out of it, when the drumming stops and the singing fades, you feel different, lighter, like something heavy was removed from your chest. The fear isn't gone, but it's manageable now, distant, like it belongs to someone else. Once a week, they did this, a scheduled reboot, because you can't run a system at full capacity for 6 months without breaking it. They didn't conquer the fear. They learned to unplug from it. And after 4,000 years of refining these tools, the games, the songs, the trances, it worked. First sunrise after 6 months, a sliver of gold on the horizon, and the tribe is standing outside, watching it rise. No one speaks, because words would ruin it. 0 madness, 0 suicides, 0 tribes that disappeared because someone couldn't handle the dark. Just people who survived because they knew how. Meanwhile, Western explorers were writing journals about wanting to die. And here's what should terrify you. We have infinite light now. Screens glowing 24/7. Every app, every stream, every notification designed to keep you distracted. So why are we more anxious than ever? More depressed? More medicated than any generation in history? Because the Inuit built tools to handle boredom. We built tools to avoid it. They trained their minds to function in deprivation. We trained ours to collapse the second stimulation stops. They didn't fight the darkness. They redesigned their brains to survive it. And that's a different kind of strength than anything we teach today. This channel is about that kind of intelligence. Ancient engineering. Survival technologies we forgot because we thought comfort was the goal. There are 1,000 techniques like this, buried in history, waiting to be rediscovered. If you want more, subscribe, because the darkness couldn't break them. Don't let comfort break you.